Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Crusadia Infinite Negates. Now the special thing about this deck is that it can ODK like crazy. Crusadia ODKs, one Crusadia variant, which is actually pretty strong. And we're up against Toons for our first duel. The EDO Pro meta is not known to be the greatest on earth. So he's going to start off by getting a copy of Toon Kingdom, Special Summon Mermaid, and don't know why he didn't summon Mermaid in defense, but it doesn't matter because we have the ability to inflict piercing damage with Leonis, I think. I don't know. So we actually top like a Crusadia, otherwise our hand would be entirely dead and there would be nothing we could do about it. But we do it technically run 17 copies of a Crusadia monster just to get to Magus. So we're gonna start off by normal summoning the Draco. We can summon Parallel Exceed, Chainlink 1 Exceed, Chainlink 2 Magus because we want our Parallel Exceed to resolve. Because as you guys know, as long as you're able to get 2 level 4s on the field and a Time Thief Winder in your hand, you pretty much have full combo. So I'm gonna be summoning Exceed, summon Ranryu, summon Regulix, summon Equimax, just because I'm not going for the OTK right here, because we can easily just OTK him. One thing I should have done is I should have overlaid into a Force Trick, summon out the Singing Lanius, use that to link into the Equimax, and since we still would have had another Exceed material on the Force Tricks, we could have just detached it for Time Thief Winder. We would have dealt some more damage, but it doesn't matter, because this person's going to get a one-shot, 8,000 points of damage. So yes, this deck can OTK very well and has some very strong going second plays, something that Infinite Negate did lack previously. I mean, Dinosaur Infinite Negate also did have some very strong OTK potential, just controlling the entire game with Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Do go and check out that video, but we'll go on to our next replay then. For our next deck, we are up against Necro Valley Control, I'm guessing. I don't know what this card is, Gravekeeper's Guard, but we'll have to see what we can do here now. We're going to start off by normal summoning the Maximus. We can summon the Exceed. We have a similar line of play like last time. We search and then we summon out. We can overlay into Force Strix. We can summon the Gigabyte and the Ranryu. I'm not summoning it right underneath the Magus because we need that space for a White Strix for later on. So we're going to use the Force Strix to search Singing Lanius. Go into a White Strix, and then we're going to be summoning Zephyros the Elite from our deck. We'll overlay into another Force Strix. We detach the Blackwing, and we get a Boar the Spear. And then we can use Yes, we will be first using White Strix. It has mandatory effect to set a rank of magic. And then we're going to be using Zephyros to bounce back the Gigabyte, summon it. And I believe Gigabyte special summon is not once per turn. I could have summoned it right there, but don't know what was going through my mind. Gigabyte special summon is not once per turn. Pretty sure it's not once per turn. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like it's once per turn. I can summon the Draco now, which will get us back our Maximus, and we haven't even summoned Maximus yet. So if this was a normal duel, we could have potentially even ended on something like a Rafflesia, but I don't think I was running Rafflesia in this duel specifically at the time of when I was making this deck. So I have added in Rafflesia later, just in case we're able to OTK even better. We can go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, and if I want, I could have special summoned the Maximus. If I had special summoned Gigabyte earlier, I would still have that on my field. I could overlay into Rafflesia. Maybe I could have gone for the Rafflesia play even earlier, if I was confident enough. But pretty strong field to start with. During our end phase, we will just go ahead, get your Apex Avion, and we have the full lock complete. Unlike other decks, this deck can get out the IP Masquerena and Union Carrier super easily, and it doesn't require too much material in your hand, but just absolutely destroys your opponent. And pretty much, in case you don't know how Infinite Negates work, As long as you're able to get Apex Avian and Thunderbird on the field, just these two cards, you pretty much have the full lock. Apex Avian reads, once per chain when a card or effect is activated, bounce a Mist Valley card you control to the hand, negate it. And what Mist Valley Thunderbird reads is if it's sent from if it goes from the field to the hand, you can special summon it for free. So pretty much you're just going to bounce it and then negate a card your opponent controls, then immediately summon itself back out. And then if your opponent activates another card, you can bounce it and then special summon it again. And if your opponent's like, this is outrageous, I'm just going to attack over the Thunderbird, pretty much you have IP right here. So during the end of their main phase, you can use IP, go into an Avermax, and Avermax is basically an attack magnet. So your opponent cannot even attack through that. So pretty much he can do anything at this point. I'm not sure how useful those Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley will be if he won't have Necro Valley on his field to start with, because I can just negate the activation. And on top of that, if they have something like, I don't know, Cosmic Cyclone, because Apex Avian does not bounce as cost, it just targets as cost and then bounces it as an effect. If they have something like Cosmic Cyclone and they want to get rid of the Thunderbird before it even reaches the hand, so I can't do it infinitely, we always have the Cyber Dragon Infinity, which can negate any card that may threaten our Thunderbird. So that was our second duel. Let's go on to our third one. And for this duel, we are up against... no idea what we are up against. Pure Lights, Trickstar. This man is playing GOAT format. This man is like literally just straight up playing GOAT format. Don't know what he's doing, but don't know. So we're going to be going first. We get the Leonis. We can go into the Exceed Mage's play. If you're saying, oh, you're only able to do this because you're hard drawing the Exceed, just a coincidence I drew the Exceed in all these replays. You can always just search your Exceed with your Formute Skipper, and honestly you can just do it either way. So we get the search for a Draco, and we get the summon for another Exceed. We summon the Gigabyte, summon 4 Strix, and we are not summoning Draco because we do have to keep this zone open for a White Strix. We summon Zephyros, overlay into 4 Strix. 4 Strix decharges 1 search, and now we get the set one. Now we can link into the Samoric link. Now we can summon the Draco because we are safe to. We can use its effect, get back the Leonis. We never special summoned the Leonis. We can go ahead, bounce for our Zephyros. I probably should have special summoned the Leonis and then bounce for Zephyros, because then I would have had the extra level 4 in case I ever needed it. We can special summon Bora. We can summon Leonis, because why not? Go into an IP. Go into Union Carrier. We can activate Soul Shape Force now, which will rank up from the graveyard into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. And pretty much, yes, we have the full lock at this point. In case you're saying it doesn't play around Mech Knights, kind of does, not exactly, but as long as you're able to get Infinite Negates plus the Avermax out, yes, it sometimes falls to Nibiru, but really by choice you can always just go into the Rafflesia. You also have the choice to go into an Appaloosa if you like, if you have way too many extra monsters. But it is a very resilient deck nonetheless, just easily getting out Infinite Gates with extra cards in your hand. Of course I could have done a better play over there, and it's very easy to get the combo started too. We run tons of level 4 monsters that you can just summon straight from your hand. We have ways to search it through cards like Magus. We have, if you're going second, we have ways to OTK with cards like Maximus, Regulus, Crusadia Revival, of that stuff. They're just, this deck is, in my opinion, on the better end of the scale of in terms of Infinite Gate decks. So we'll go on to our deck profile then. So right here for the deck, we have 3 copies of Exceed, 1 copy of Avian. The 3 copies of Exceed, we just want to see it as often as possible, just works wonders for us. And the Avian and Thunderbird just for the Infinite Gates, we just need to get those 2 on the field. 3 copies of Winder and 1 copy of Hack. I'm starting to run this package in some of my Infinite Gate decks, just because as long as you're able to get into 4 Strix, you're pretty much you're pretty great as long as you're able to get into 4 Strix. As soon as if you have Winder and if you have 4 Strix on the field and Winder in your hand, you still have full combo. You don't necessarily need the extra monsters on the field. One Bora and one Zephyros. Think of bumping up the Bora, but I don't really have too much space for it. I'm just barely able to fit it under 41, and the 41st card is the Gravedigger's Trapple for Rafflesia, and it's just super important. But I do run one of each, not necessarily the most important couple. I mean, of course, you do need it, but Zephyros is the biggest hard garnet in this deck, even bigger than Gravedigger's Trapple. I think it was 3 duels in a row that I kept on hard drawing Zephyros, and I kind of rage quit. So Zephyros is a very big garnet. You never want to draw it. 3 copies of Maximus. The only reason why we run 3 of it over stuff like Reclusia. Maximus is just super important for the OTK. On top of it, it's a free level 4 you can summon from your hand. 3 copies of Gigabyte. Gigabyte is once again a free level 4 summon. 3 copies of Ranryu, a free level 4 summon. I don't run any of the other familiars, they take up too much space. But Ranryu and Gigabyte are probably the best. I accidentally got rid of Ranryu there. Let me just get it back. Terrible spelling, yes I know, but those are the only familiars we run because they're the best ones. To be honest, just to increase the consistency of getting to your Magus, which is one of the most important cards of the entire combo, you pretty much just want to run. I think you could probably cut out one of the familiars for an extra Reclusia, just to increase the consistency of getting to Magus. But I think having 17 ways to get to Magus is enough. We run 3 Maximus, 3 Draco, 3 Leonis, 3 Arborea, 2 Reclusia, and 3 Formute Skipper. And Formute Skipper is probably the best when I evolved them. Where was I? Yes, after the familiars, we have 3 copies of Draco. The reason why we run 3 is because it can recover cards that we never special summoned. For example, if we just normal summon them and go into Magus, we can special summon it, retrieve it, and if we have any other plays, we can go on with them. If we have something like a familiar, we can summon it, and then we can go on with our Infinite Gate plays, going to 4 Strix and stuff. 1 copy of Singing Lanius. It's a soft garnet. It's meh if you draw it, but super great card nonetheless. 3 copies of Leonis, just increase the consistency of getting to your Magus, and it's a really great card nonetheless. Just inflicting piercing battle damage is super great. 3 copies of Arborea. Arborea is Arborea, you can't go wrong with that. It just protects your what do you call it, the Crusadia monsters. So if you have something like an Avermax out and your opponent somehow threatens like a chain link 10 and somehow like baits out your Infinity Negate and still has chain links, you can protect your Avermax with Arborea. 2 copies of Reclusia. Reclusia is always great. Just it's a free pop technically, and once again we only run 2 because the deck is very very tight. 3 copies of Formute Skipper, probably one of the better cards in this deck. You usually just reveal your Regulix and go into Magus. On top of that, it searches your Paralytic Seed for you, and then you can maybe summon any other extenders you might have in your hand and try to go into a Regulix. Super duper great card. I can't run Silent Mining because, as I said it before, this deck is very very tight. The spell count is very short, just 6 of them. 1 Soulshade Force to rank our 4 Strix into a Cyber Dragon Infinity. 3 copies of Called by the Grave for hand traps. 1 copy of Time Thief Hack to search up Time Thief Winder. 1 copy of Crusadia Revival for the OTKs. And 1 copy of Gravedigger's Trapple for the Rafflesia. Some people like to keep this at 2, but just a super duper duper tight deck. I can't really fit in anymore. For the extra deck, we run 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity and 2 copies of 4 Strix. The 2 is necessary because we burn through 2 of them during the combo. And yes, just super useful. The Cyber Dragon Infinity does help us for better, larger chain links. 1 copy of Rafflesia to play around Nibiru. You can get it a lot of the times, but sometimes you do have to risk your IP Masquerena. But in my opinion, the I think that the Rafflesia, the having the security of going through full combo without any interruptions is a lot more important than going into IP, as there is still a chance that your Thunderbird may survive, and still having multiple negates is better than having none and just having fat rock on your field. One copy of Crusadia Avermax just for the you summon it off IP and Union Carrier just to protect your monsters. One copy of Appaloosa, just a generic link 4. You can change this for Boral Sword if you're feeling like it, but I think the Crusadias will already have enough ODK potential, so I just decided to go for the Appaloosa instead. Sometimes you can just end on Appaloosa plus Infinite Negates in case your Infinite Negates do go wrong, the extra Negates do work. One copy of Simorg just to get your Apex Avian on the field. One copy of Crusadia Equimax, just once again super great for OTKs, and it's technically a negate by itself, and it's pretty great. Just a card, but it's just a pretty great card. One copy of Wystrix to summon Zephyros from your deck. Two copies of Regulix to search Revival, and it's really great for OTKs. And sometimes if you need a free space, then this is the link 2 you want to go for. One copy of Union Carrier, could just to equip your Thunderbird and get it on the field for your Apex Avian. One copy of IP Masquerena to go into your Avermax, and finally we run 2 copies of Crusadia Magus. Just super great card, and searches your other extenders, which is very important, and just helps you get, it just increases the consistency of your Infinite Gaze a lot more than you would expect. So that was the full deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.